Hello students, welcome to Science and Tech series with Dr. Vivek Rana. Topic for today's discussion is from, you could say, general science section. We'll be decoding recently announced Nobel Prizes in science category. So Nobel Prizes are named after Swedish chemist Alfred Nobel, who in 1895 had declared that these awardees after his death be awarded to all those individuals who have done something which can be related to the larger public good, or we could say the greatest benefit to the mankind. So this theme is more or less directly related to ethics as well, because we all know Alfred Nobel had invented almost 355 inventions during his lifetime, but his main invention was dynamite. So the story goes like this: in a few years before his death, there was a headline that merchant of death is finally has died. So it was a wrong obituary, which was wrongly interpreted on behalf of his brother. So that made Alfred Nobel think about it, that all his wealth and these discoveries have no value if he is going to be remembered for something that was destructive in nature. So from there onwards, after his death in 1896, a committee based in Sweden started announcing these awards, and till date they have continued. So the first formal awards were announced in 1901, and today we are in 2023 and the chain has not broken. Originally these awards were to be awarded in just 5 categories: physics, chemistry, medicine or physiology, literature and peace. Economics was the last one to be added, and out of all these awards are announced from Sweden. Only the peace one is from Norway. So if they want to, you could say, ask some basic factual question of the nature, so you can have to mug up these basic facts regarding the history of these prizes. Otherwise, most of the times in state services, the straightforward question is asked on who are the current recipients, from which nationality do they belong, and finally what is the main discovery for which they have been celebrated. In UPSC, this topic is mainly revolved around you could say the exact contribution. A specific question on applied part is generally asked. And before we start, let's just go back a little in time and recollect who are the Indian recipients who have received this coveted prize. So in all 6 categories, we have seen winners over the years. If we talk about the literature category, it was Rabindranath Tagore who was awarded this prestigious award for his collection of poems in Gitanjali. In peace category, we have Mother Teresa, and recently in 2014 we had seen Kailash Satyarthi also being nominated and winning this specific award. And in economics, we have 2 winners, Dr. Amartya Sen as well as Abhijit Banerjee. So we have, you could say, 2 gems in economic field as well. But today's lecture is more or less revolving around science, so make sure you are clear about the 3 winners in physics, chemistry and medicine field. In medicine and physiology field, it was Dr. Hargobind Khurana who cracked genetic code and was awarded this prestigious prize, and till date it is one of the pioneering discoveries which have helped us in understanding genetic disorders, and we can say in eugenics, euthanics, it is a cornerstone of invention. In chemistry field, we had Venkat Raman Ramakrishnan who correctly deciphered the structure of ribosomes, even though he was a structural biologist, but the award was announced in chemistry category, and he was one of the recent winners in 2009. And in physics, there is no surprises. It is Dr. C.V. Raman who during British era discovered scattering of light, and which is popularly known as Raman effect, and till date we celebrate our Science Day in memory of discovery of Raman effect. And also we have Subramaniam Chandrasekhar who deciphered white dwarf star theory in astrophysics. Once again, that's a pioneering invention from Indian origin scientists. So basically these 9 names you can say are directly linked to Indian genesis. Also Ronald Ross had worked and Rudyard Kipling also had Indian roots while they were announced the Nobel Prize winners. But if you have to look specifically, then the first 9 names are the ones you have to memorize. So this year, all three themes in science category have played important role. The first field which we are going to discuss is the medicine or physiology field. There are two winners. One is Keriko and another one is the Wiesman. So Keriko is a Hungarian female scientist, because this year the female scientists have received award accolades in two categories. So that's also a highlight of this year's Nobel Prize. And Wiesman is a US based scientist. So both of them contributed towards development of mRNA vaccines. Basically, the theme which you have to prepare from examination point of view is going to revolve around the nucleic acids as well as on basis of the different type of vaccines available. Originally, when vaccines were first developed, they were mainly inactivated vaccines, because you must have heard a story about how smallpox was discovered by Edward Jenner, and this viral disease at time was dreaded, but how an inactivated virus, when introduced in body, used to provide immunity for lifelong immunity. So this is where the initial vaccines were based. They tried to introduce a dead part or the virus itself in inactivated form to generate antibody response from immune system. Over the years, the live attenuated vaccines gained prominence, in which we have seen the polio virus as well, because the typical virus is weakened and introduced in the body. In the response, we see an active immunity developing and providing a desired immune response in long term. So over the period of time, the live attenuated vaccines gained prominence, but both the vaccine had a minor side effect that in some individuals they generated a strong immunological response, which at times could be counterproductive, and at some time the virus used to regain its virulence, causing infection in some susceptible individuals. So this is where the mRNA vaccines comes into picture. It is touted as one of the safest vaccines ever built, because no part of virus whatsoever is introduced. Neither there is a dead body nor the weakened virus of adeno category is introduced, because we know in central dogma the information is transmitted from DNA to RNA to specifically ribosomes to generate amino acid sequence, which we call proteins. So in mRNA vaccines, we tried directly to generate the specific protein against which the immune response should be generated. Like in case of COVID, you can see the diagram, there was a spike proteins and a nucleic acid core, and all the vaccines are being generated in response to that spike protein. So basically these mRNA vaccines provided a distinct advantage that they are comparatively safe and they can be readily modified for the variants part, because in COVID phase we have seen some variants of concerns emerging time and again, like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and more recently Omicron. So conventional vaccine at time have reduced efficacy against the, you could say, mutant variants, whereas in short span of time, mRNA vaccines provide a distinct advantage over such viruses. So mRNA vaccines were developed this time in COVID pandemic by USA only. You must have heard about Moderna and Pfizer vaccine. Both vaccines were based on mRNA and they helped in saving lot of lives in America. And if we come to the Indian story, we chose Oxford AstraZeneca Covishield, which was manufactured by Serum Institute of India, and our own indigenous vaccine was Covaxin, which was developed by Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech. Both our vaccines were ideally, the Covishield was a live attenuated vaccine, whereas Covaxin was a inactivated vaccine. Now, why did India choose to go ahead with live attenuated, not mRNA vaccine? Because these vaccines have you could say a specific disadvantage. Since RNA is an unstable molecule, it requires additional extreme freezing for its persistence, and also lipid byproduct core is also required. So Indian core stage infrastructure was not ready to adapt. It would have proved a costly option for India. For practical limitations, India opted for the other vaccine. Otherwise, recently India has finally developed its own mRNA vaccine, which is quite stable at even nominal refrigerated temperature. So while preparing for this topic, make sure you are clear about what are DNA vaccines, what are RNA vaccines, and some basic examples about the live attenuated and inactivated vaccine. In UPSC mains, a couple of years ago there were direct question come to what are the different types of vaccines which can play a role, and in prelims also we have seen numerous times in examination questions appearing on Covishield, co-vaccine manufacture or the indigenization of technology. So it was right to be awarded because we have seen that Alfred Nobel wanted that scientists should be rewarded who have done something remarkable in greatest good for mankind, and vaccines proved the game changer in fight in pandemic, and they rightly deserve. So basically these two scientists had prepared the ground for mRNA vaccine, which we saw some record breaking time in which the vaccines were developed to fight pandemic, and this discovery paved the way for. So this was the first category related to medicine or physiology. In the second part, we have three winners, and the name are once again a little tricky to remember: Agostini, Cross, and Collier, and they belong to different countries. Once again, you can see the Western imprint is there. The Agostini belongs to USA, Cross is from Germany, Collier is from Sweden. So their contribution is once again a quite significant one. They worked on, you could say, attosecond spectroscopy. Once again, this discovery has paved the way for better understanding of, you could say, physics at the molecular level, because a lot of fields like quantum as well as other, you could say, atomic models, at times they try to capture the fast moving electrons or subatomic particles, and they were not easy to distinguish or to create their replicate images. So in this, the key word is atto. Make sure you are able to differentiate what is femto, what is atto, what is pico, because these are some numerical terms in which we can be related to the nanotech field. Like just we say 10 raised to power minus 9 meter is nano, 10 raised to power minus 12 is referred as pico. Femto is 10 raised to power minus 15, and the current winner, they were working on atto scale. The atto is 10 raised to power minus 18. So make sure you are able to differentiate these basic terms, because these can be easily compared, you could say mismatched with the supercomputing thing. In supercomputing, we were covering 10 raised to power 9 as giga, 12 as tera, 15 was peta, and currently the world's fastest computer, which is US's Frontier, has touched the exa scale, 10 raised to power 18. So this is where the, you could say, attosecond spectroscopy comes into the picture. Like in simple terms, you can say it's difficult to capture how many times a hummingbird or a bee is flapping its wing by a common camera. Now this attosecond spectroscopy is making it possible to capture those minute movements by reducing the time scale to attoframe. So we are now able to reduce the subatomic particles, their movements, and we are paving the way for quantum technology in long. And finally, in chemistry category, we have three winners once again, and this time once again US scientists have dominated clearly. Groves, Akimov, and Bawendi, all three belongs to chemistry field. And in chemistry, the specific discovery which has been awarded is the quantum dots. If you could recollect your basic class lectures in nanotechnology, while discussing application of nanotech in healthcare section, after drug delivery system, we had specifically highlighted the role of quantum dots, how they are revolutionizing the medical diagnosis by proving to be 1,000 times more effective than conventional dyes in detecting any blockages or diagnosis of diseases. But once you are covering in newspaper, apart from the healthcare section in which they have highlighted that these are going to be game changer in detecting tumors at early stages, they have also highlighted how these quantum dots are revolutionizing the LED TVs and displays because of their unique properties. And once again, this domain falls in the ambit of nanotechnology, and quantum technology also is likely to benefit from such discoveries. So catalysis of reaction and other themes are also mentioned while discovering this basic theme. So while covering these themes, examiner is not keen to ask about the factual names of the scientist or the key discovery. The main part of how different applications of nanotech are contributing to everyday life, or how quantum technology is being made possible by general science discoveries, these themes can be asked indirectly. So you must be able to differentiate what are bits, co-bits, what are nanotech, nanometer, and how the important scientists have contributed to their discovery. And since there is no Indian name this year, achievements of Indian science in science field topic will remain static only. So make sure the other Indian names which were highlighted during Nobel Prizes distribution, you just revise their basic discoveries. And we already have winners in economics and economics being announced, and we have other in peace, Iranian, you could say, person, the female who protested against hijab as well as imprisoned for Nargis Mohammadi has been another recipient. So make sure you, when preparing for this list, you cover the entire list in one go in one specific page. If you have any other specific discovery regarding these basic themes, you can ask them. Already we have highlighted a basic document in your, you could say, WhatsApp and Telegram channel. You can go through it. If you have any specific difficulty, feel free to connect. We will be ready to help. So we'll be back soon with another science and tech lecture which is going to happen in this week. So keep working hard. Best of luck. Thank you very much.